Chapter 55, Pregnancy. I really wanted a child from Vanya then. It was real, genuine, bodily desire. Not from the head, not from a plan, not from strategy. I wanted it as if something inside had woken up and said, now, right now, not later, not someday, now while there's still time. Because the doctor said I was gonna die soon. The bleeding that started after my mother's death had by then become a threat. Von Willebrand disease, rare, hereditary, the kind where blood doesn't clot properly. Blood was pouring out during periods, and the hemophilia injections had stopped helping. They told me straight, this can't go on. The body, which already didn't know how to relax, how to sleep, how to stop, now also didn't know how to hold blood, as if it had decided to fulfill my grandmother's curse literally. You'll die like your mother. My mother died at 42. I was 30. And somewhere inside, in the place where what lives isn't thoughts but knowings, I was certain. There wasn't much time left. And then I lost it. That's how I later described it, with the honesty that only comes after many years. I suddenly wanted a child. Didn't decide, didn't plan, wanted, as if leaving behind a person would make death not quite death. As if a child were proof that I existed, that I was here, that it wasn't all for nothing. My mother left nothing behind except me, and she didn't even raise me. I wanted to leave behind someone I would raise, whom I wouldn't abandon, to whom I'd say what no one said to me. When Vanya agreed to our business marriage, I heard in it that he too wanted a child like I did. I didn't actually ask him. I began dreaming of how it would happen. I imagined an evening, and in that evening, candles were burning, many candles, as if light is what should be present when a new life begins, as if the child should arrive not in darkness but in warmth. A month passed. My 30th birthday came. I came home from work, and a surprise. Vanya and friends had prepared everything. The whole room was filled with balloons and flowers, and candles were burning. Those very candles I had imagined. The cake also had candles. I stood before that cake, and something rose inside for which I can't find a word. Not joy, not excitement, but recognition, as if I had already seen this moment, as if life had finally matched the picture I'd drawn for myself. I blew out the candles and made a wish, for him to be born to us. And that very evening my wish came true. I found out 2 weeks later, and jumped for joy like a child who was given for the first time what they asked for. And so I was pregnant. In the 6th month, I wrote my son a letter, in a notebook. Hi, Artem. I'm Vera, your mom. You're not born yet. I'm on my 6th month now. We really look forward to your arrival in the fall. And for now, you live in my tummy, and you're actively moving around, kicking, and even hiccuping. Your dad and I really wanted you to come, and a miracle happened. You chose us and decided to be born into our family. I wrote and believed every word. I described how I made a wish on my 30th birthday, how I blew out the candles, how that very evening I got pregnant, how I jumped for joy when I found out, how I knew right away it would be a boy, not from tests, but simply knew, how for the past several years I'd sensed the presence of a boy nearby when I came home from work, as if someone was already standing there, waiting. Artem, that was my best birthday ever. Son, thank you for fulfilling my wish. I wrote to him about Vanya. That papa was amazing. The best man in the world, smart, responsible, courageous, that he was valued at work, that he was my colleague, that he took care of me throughout the pregnancy. Artem, I really want you to be like your papa. All of this was true, and at the same time, not the whole truth, because alongside these words, a few pages later in the same notebook, I wrote something else. if I'm no longer here? I was 30. I was in my 6th month, and I was writing my unborn son instructions in case of my death. Whatever the circumstances of my death, please do not take it personally. It is not and cannot be your fault. Those were the very words no one said to me when my mother died. The ones I'd been searching for 20 years and never found. The ones whose absence left me living with the belief that my mother's death was my fault. I wrote them for my son because I knew, if I die, he will need exactly these words. My main request to you, do something good with your life in my memory. We come to this earth to learn. In any situation, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? I love you and your papa. Artem, I bless you. Take from me and from your papa all the best. P.S. Read books. A 30-year-old woman in her 6th month writes a will and a love letter in the same notebook with the same pen in the same handwriting, preparing for death and for birth at the same time. And this wasn't a contradiction. This was my life, the one where beginning and end always stood too close together. And then 4 years later, I found that notebook while packing boxes for the move to California and added to it. Hooray, found this notebook. I've been wanting to write down what we called you. Froggy Jumpy, Paw Scratchy, Bitey Chewy, Tiger Shechka, Kitten Cub, Kissyavka, Kissyatina, Sweetheart, Dear Beloved Son, Sunny Kitten Ochek. Your funny words, Markatix, Valuatix, Emilian, Googleplex. More things we called you, Marachkin, Kochernochkin, Kitten Tiger Cub, Tigriusha, Kitriusha, Paw Scratcher, Little Devil with a Fluffy Tail, Churchyaka, Churbarsik. 23 nicknames, I counted them later. 23 names for one small person. A woman who couldn't say I love you. Said it in 23 ways. Through Tigriushechka, through Kissyavka, through the little devil with the fluffy tail. Note, Kissyavka and Kissyatina mean, I'm angry, but I love you. I didn't know how to love with words, but the body knew. The body invented names. The body lay next to him every evening. The body woke at 5 in the morning to make him breakfast. The body won court cases so they wouldn't take him. The body chose him every time, even when the head wanted to die. Artyomka, that's what I called Artem when he was tiny. From birth you were a choleric. An Italian family we are, all cholerics. You run up the walls, we run through the corridors trying to somehow burn off your wild energy, and we also crawl on all fours and meow, because you're a kitten and I'm your mama cat. Mama cat. I wrote that 5 years before I adopted a real cat from a shelter. 5 years before I began learning to love, through Lappa, through a wild creature that bites and doesn't trust. I was already a mama cat. I just didn't know. 23 nicknames, I counted them later. 23 names for one tiny person who hadn't even been born yet. Not a single one from the head, all from somewhere else, from the place the head didn't control. I didn't know how to love with words, but the body knew. The body invented 23 words for love before the child was even born, and not a single one for fear. Although fear was there, it was always there. Artyomka, from birth you were a choleric. An Italian family in one body, restless, loud. In the maternity ward they said, yours is screaming the loudest. I lay and smiled. That's my boy. Mama cat. I wrote that 5 years before I adopted a real cat from a shelter. The image was already there. The warmth was already there. It just hadn't found a body yet.